Lean, head tan, cold iron collar, under the mud we crawl. Heavy, the clock stopped ticking now. Silence, buried deep under the frost.
In the 10th century BC, a figure emerged whose name became synonymous with unimaginable wealth: King Solomon. His legendary kingdom sat upon a literal mountain of shimmering gold that defied every economic logic of the vast ancient world. Historical accounts suggest that every year, this monarch received exactly 666 talents of pure gold. This staggering, massive fortune would be worth billions today, yet its true origin remains one of history's greatest unsolved enigmas. While other kings fought for mere scraps of land, Solomon's royal subjects drank from vessels of solid gold. Silver was supposedly as common as stones in Jerusalem's streets, creating a landscape of blinding, heavy, metallic opulence. Every 3 years, his mysterious fleet returned from the distant, fabled land of Ophir, laden with precious stones and exotic woods. But where exactly was this place? And how did one man consolidate such absolute financial power? Then, almost overnight, this monumental treasure vanished, leaving behind only whispers and empty ruins. Was this wealth a divine gift, or a dark curse hidden beneath the shifting desert sands, waiting to be rediscovered by the curious modern world? Now, let us descend into the deep, dark shadows of ancient history. To truly grasp the magnitude of this vast empire, we must look far beyond Israel and toward the deepest waters of the Red Sea. King Solomon established an unprecedented strategic partnership with the powerful King Hiram of Tyre. This diplomatic alliance allowed for the creation of a legendary fleet of ships of Tarshish, extremely robust vessels designed for long, dangerous voyages. They returned to the strategic ports of ancient Ezion laden with exotic products the world rarely beheld. Gold, silver, ivory, and even strange animals like monkeys and peacocks disembarked under the scorching sun, transforming the economy into an absolute powerhouse. Contemporary historians debate whether these expeditions reached Africa or the distant shores of the Indian subcontinent. However, the true pinnacle of this material splendor manifested in the construction of the Great Temple, the spiritual center of the people. Every square inch of its interior was fully lined with cedars from Lebanon, carved with such absolute perfection. What really defied human logic was the total coverage of pure gold over these woods, creating an environment of celestial luminosity. Studies suggest that tons of the metal were hammered into extremely thin sheets, coating walls, floors, and even the high ceiling. Millennial records indicate that the altar and the door hinges were made of solid gold, an ostentation that reflected divine glory. Such concentration of wealth in a single building had no parallel in neighboring civilizations, such as Egypt or Mesopotamia, during that time. The administrative structure that sustained this luxury was equally complex, based on a system of 12 districts that provided for the royal court. Each region was responsible for maintaining the royal will, ensuring that no supplies were ever lacking for the officials and palace guests. The famous Queen of Sheba, upon visiting Jerusalem, was reportedly absolutely stunned not only by the gold but by the impeccable order. She realized that true wealth resided in logistical intelligence and the wisdom that made that state machine function with such breathtaking precision. Yet, all this opulence generated a silent social tension, which sacred texts often leave hidden beneath the accounts of glory. Maintaining that exorbitant standard required heavy tributes and forced labor, creating an economic base that was simultaneously brilliant but incredibly fragile at its core. The central enigma that still intrigues modern scientists remains the geographical origin of Ophir, the inexhaustible source of this legendary gold. Many ancient maps attempted to locate this land in various places, ranging from the savannas of Zimbabwe to the Andes. Modern science constantly searches for mining traces in arid desert areas, wanting to find material proof of this abundance. What we know is that the gold of that era possessed an extraordinary purity, serving as the highest standard of all classical antiquity. This wealth was not just a hoard. It was a psychological weapon that kept rival kings in a state of perpetual awe. Solomon's reign redefined meaning of value in the ancient world, leaving a golden legacy that whispers to us today. The impact of this abundance was not limited to the temple walls or the royal vaults, but shaped the very soul of an entire nation. Imagine walking through streets where the glare of precious metal reflected the sunlight with such intensity that eyes could barely endure the sight. Silver, once a metal of great commercial value, became so abundant that historical records categorically state it held no value during Solomon's days. This unprecedented economic phenomenon in ancient history created an environment of awe and reverence that attracted rulers from extremely remote lands. The logistics required to maintain this constant flow of riches required a strategic intelligence that many considered supernatural or granted directly from the heavens. Yet, behind this veil of absolute glory, there existed practical and hidden secrets about mining that few have fully understood over the millennia. Recent geological studies in arid regions suggest that Solomon's ore extraction operations were technologically far too advanced for their time. Deep tunnels and complex ventilation systems allowed workers to reach veins of gold that other civilizations did not even know existed beneath the ground. But what almost no one knows is that there is a hidden detail in this ancient engineering that reveals even greater secrets about this immense power. If you want to go deeper and understand the roots of these ancient mysteries, we have prepared some material for you in the description below the video. This technical knowledge, joined with diplomatic wisdom, transformed Jerusalem into the cultural and financial epicenter of the known world at that time. Pure gold was used to manufacture giant ornamental shields, serving as both an emergency monetary reserve and an intimidating demonstration of military and economic strength. Every detail of the court was meticulously planned to project an image of indestructibility and a direct connection to the supreme divinity. The wine goblets and all the household utensils of the palace of the Forest of Lebanon were made exclusively of beaten gold. There was no room for the common or the mediocre in a kingdom that sought to mirror celestial perfection in every small, everyday object. The psychological tension that this ostentation caused in neighboring kingdoms was a political tool as powerful as the bronze swords themselves. Kings and princes paid annual tributes not just out of fear, but from the burning desire to be near this inexhaustible source of prosperity. Gold, rare spices, and precious stones flowed into the palace like a mighty river that never seemed to run dry in the face of global crises. However, the true question that haunts modern historians is how such vast wealth could disappear without leaving clear physical traces. Could it be that this monumental treasure was hidden in secret chambers yet to be discovered, or was it systematically looted by successive empires? The search for these answers leads us to investigate the final years of Solomon's reign, where the weight of glory began to take its toll. Every brick in the city seemed to vibrate intensely with a frequency of power that felt both eternal and strangely fragile. The decline of this golden empire began when the heavy crown became unsustainable for the monarch's soul. This monumental economy, though shimmering with gold, was built upon the shifting sands of high taxes and exhaustive, forced labor and heavy burdens. Many scholars suggest that the legendary mines of Ophir suddenly stopped producing, or perhaps Phoenician trade routes were cut by unknown wars. The gold that once flowed like a river began to vanish from the royal vaults as quiet anger grew. The most disturbing revelation lies in the final fate of all this material splendor after the death of the king. Egypt, noticing the political weakness of his successor Rehoboam, sent Pharaoh Shishak to plunder the holy city with a massive, terrifying force. Historical records indicate that the temple's treasures, including those legendary golden shields, were carried away to the banks of the Nile. But there is a specific detail that many modern archaeological analyses often overlook when discussing this dark and tragic event. Ancient rabbinic reports and oral traditions state that the most sacred and valuable artifacts never actually left Jerusalem during that looting. A complex labyrinth of tunnels and hidden chambers deep beneath the Temple Mount was designed by Solomon for extreme emergencies. Some believe that tons of pure gold and priceless gems are still waiting in silence deep under the ancient, sacred rock. While the location of Ophir remains a mystery, recent geological clues point toward the Arabian Desert or wealthy regions of Africa. Scientists recently discovered traces of massive industrial mining in the Timna region, suggesting copper was the real secret financial engine. This copper was likely traded for the gold of distant nations, revealing an economic intelligence similar to a modern central bank system. Solomon's true wealth might not have been the gold itself, but his absolute command over the logistics of the ancient world. This king's legacy challenges everything we know about the limits of human riches and the spiritual price of absolute power. Every new excavation in the soil of Israel uncovers fragments of a past that fuses myth with the purest historical facts. If those lost mines were rediscovered today, the sheer value of the treasure would instantly crush the stability of the global economy. Solomon's glory remains the ultimate financial enigma of antiquity, a story written with a golden glow in the deep silence of time. We must wonder if humanity is truly prepared to find what has been hidden for thousands of long years. Perhaps the gold was never meant to be found by those seeking material gain in the desert. The true treasure lies in the divine wisdom that built the empire, a wisdom that transcends the value of any earthly precious metal known to man. As we look toward history, the shadow of the wise king still looms over the ruins of the past. The search for the lost gold continues, but the silence of the stones remains the only true and final answer for now and time. The epic trajectory of Solomon's vast riches is not merely a chronicle about the accumulation of precious metals. It is a profound lesson regarding the fragility of human glory when measured against eternity. While pure gold shimmered brightly upon the temple walls, the true foundation of that entire kingdom was being tested. It rested upon the moral choices of a man who possessed everything, yet struggled to find a lasting peace. The sudden disappearance of those legendary tons of gold remains the greatest cold case in global archaeology. It continues to challenge satellites and modern technological excavations conducted deep within the ancient, sacred soil of Jerusalem. Many researchers suggest the treasure was fragmented to finance enemy armies during times of collapse. Others maintain the provocative theory that it still waits silently under impenetrable layers of rock, hidden from greedy eyes. There's a specific detail in all of this that most people never fully grasp. This occurs because the complete historical and spiritual context is rarely taught in conventional circles or standard textbooks. We studied this more deeply, and it completely changed our vision regarding these ancient stories. If you want to truly go deeper into what lies behind this, we prepared a material for you in the description below the video that explains everything in a much more profound way. The legacy of the wisest king on earth forces us to question our own readiness. Are we truly prepared to handle the definitive answers that the vast desert still hides from our modern world? Every discovery in locations like Timna or Sheba serves as a constant, haunting reminder. The past is a living force, always ready to rewrite our understanding of the present at any given moment. Was Solomon's gold physical proof of divine favor, or simply the result of a massive commercial network? The search for Ophir continues to drive explorers who dedicate their entire lives to finding a single gram. As we look at the silent ruins of what was once the world's richest empire, a truth emerges. Wisdom is the only treasure that does not suffer from the slow corrosion of time or fate. If you value this journey through historical knowledge and wish to continue unraveling civilizations, join our community. The greatest mystery is not where the gold is hidden, but what it reveals about our search. Time is the only master who holds the keys to every lost mine. Perhaps some secrets were never meant to be uncovered by those seeking only material gain in the shifting sands.